Okay, so the first thing we'll have to do is remove this engine cover. I'm just going to hold this pipe down while I lift this engine cover up. Similarly here, that comes up. Okay, there's just these four thing that goes into the rubber boots in there. So I'll put this away. Next, we will remove the air filter. It's just held together by these two tabs, and there are two hooks at the back, so we just pull it forward. So these are the two hooks. So that's had its life. We'll replace that. Next, we'll have to remove this piece to get access to the oil filter. First thing I'll do is just loosen this piece from here. So I'll just press this down and lift this up, pull it back, and over here there's a little tab down here. Push it down and separate. So that's separated. Okay, next, this is just held together by I think there's a rubber thing here that holds it in place, and one on this side. We'll just lift it up and separate it from this air intake and pull this forward. So back there are these two things that is here and here that holds it in place. So we'll take this out. So here is the oil filter that's there. Okay, to give me some room to get to this oil filter, I'm just going to remove this duct. So I'm just going to push it down, and that comes right out. Alright, so the engine is warm, so I'll be able to use a oil extractor pretty effectively. So luckily this car still has a dipstick. So I'll remove this and put it into a safe place. I'll put this hose down. Let's put it down to where it stops. I'll connect the hose to this bigger hose. And over here. Okay, so this is how I've got the oil extractor set up. I'll start pumping it now, so the oil should be flowing out. Okay, so the oil is pumping through now. I'll time it to see how long it takes to take all the oil out from this car. Okay, so to remove the oil filter, you need a 27mm socket. So I'm just going to loosen it first. Okay, so I'll just remove this oil filter, and I'll just leave it here. So this is the old air filter, and this is the new one. I'm using a MAN air filter. So you note that this filter has this little thing here at the end. So make sure when you put it in, there's a hole in where the housing is for that particular piece. So I'll take this out. Okay, so this filter came with a new rubber ring, and also came with a sump plug washer, but I'm not going to use it because I'm extracting the oil. So we'll remove the old ring. Alright, so I'm just going to put a bit of oil, fresh oil, on where the ring goes, and then some oil on the new ring itself, so that when we're tightening the cap, it'll be well lubricated and it'll move freely. Okay, so I'll just put this filter back in the housing. Okay, so I'm putting back the oil filter now. I'm gonna make sure that this tip here goes into, there's a little hole just for it. It's about here. So I'm just gonna tighten this now slowly, and making sure that the rubber ring doesn't pinch. So the spec for this is 25 Newton meters. So I'll just keep going, and I'll get my torque wrench after. Okay, so that looks like all the oil will come out, because I've been playing with various depths of this, and I've got about 6.5 liters out, which is about how much oil there was in there. Okay, so I've tightened this, and I've checked that there's no crink, or there's no little rubber ring that's kinking out. I put the dipstick back in place, and now I just put these air hose back, making sure that the tabs are clicked in on top and bottom. Next, I put this air box back. So there's these two tabs. They've got to go back there, so make sure they go in the right place. Place. Okay. And I'll connect these air intake for the engine. That's in place, and now I'll be replacing the air filter. This is a MAN air filter. So the air filter has these two tabs. It goes into this hole here. Gotta make sure it goes in place. And then these clips, they should just click in place. And now we put back the airbox cover, or engine cover, making sure that the 4 tap rings are lined up, and they'll just click into place. Next, we'll just top up the oil. Okay, so I'm using a penrite 5W40. It's got the right spec for this car. So I took out about 6.5, so I'll put back in 6.5.